You're listening to the number one podcast, according to my mom. It's all meat. Hold the anchovies.
Good morning, afternoon, evening, middle of the night, whatever, whenever you're listening. So I'm Dwaine. I live in Alabama. My co-host and best friend in the world is David.
Oh, thank goodness.
Yeah, I know. You were worried there. He resides in the great state of Virginia. What's the weather like?
Freezing.
This fine day in Virginia.
It is so cold. I don't know if it's ever been this. I don't remember it being this cold. I mean, I work by the water anyway, so it's extra cold because of the wind. It's just cold.
Yeah. It's pretty cold. Well, actually, it's cold in the morning. It's like 20-something degrees, maybe 30. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to wear a coat. And then I go to lunch, and I'm like, I do not need this coat because it's 52.
We don't have many of those days, but I thought you guys were going to get more snow than us this year. Yeah. You were posting snow videos early.
Yeah. But we didn't. So, well, at least not yet. I mean, we're still in late January, so.
We've had one storm last week, which was pretty big, about 5 inches, and we're supposed to have a bigger one this weekend.
Yeah. Okay. Well, you found us, everybody. We hope you enjoy listening in on our conversations. Some are funny and some are serious, but all of them, David, are interesting.
To us.
Yes. To us.
So if you're still here, thank you for at least
right.
listening again.
Thank you.
I'll give him a third chance. Let's see.
Yeah. Third episode, maybe. So anyway, oh, by the way, I've moved since we last were podcasting. Wait, Did I? Have we ever podcasted with me in this house? No, I don't think so.
No, last time we podcasted, you were in a sweat box in that closet. Whatever that thing was. You always just complain about it's so hot in here.
Really? Where was that?
Somebody's closet. Wasn't it?
I don't know. Well, I know since, let's see, we started in 2013, January, and I've recorded from several locations. You've pretty much been in the same room the whole time, right?
I started in the dining room, but that was like one season, I think.
Pepper.
I moved to the office shortly thereafter.
Yeah. Well, I remember first was in the wide open space of that room that was right off the living room with no walls or anything. I had that little Plantronics over the head, little things with the people watching TV and me talking loud and laughing while they're all trying to watch TV. And back then our shows, all the Survivor Talk shows were like hour and a half, 2.5 hours. I wonder what the longest one we ever did was. Probably 3.5 or 4.
It was probably the interview with Tony.
Yeah, Tony Velakos, yeah. Well, then I moved to, do you remember? Then I moved to that really very small closet in the back of the closet.
Mm-hmm.
And that was fun. It was like a 6x6 room with clothes all around me, except I moved all the clothes off the back hanging thing. And I hung up a Survivor blanket that I think Mike Case sent me. And then I had all those buffs on the wall. And then you had a bunch of bobbleheads or whatever they were.
Funkos, yeah. Was it the room where Timothy and Joshua were?
No. This was
where
before
was it?
That. This was like you go into our bedroom and we had a closet that had a closet in it. So it was a closet within a closet. A little bitty thing. Mm-hmm. And I was in there. I barely had any room to sit. And I mean, it was funny. So, and then we started, we were video podcasting in that small closet. But then after Nathan moved out, I moved up to his old room.
Right.
And recorded there. That was where we had one of our first interviews with Rob Sesternino. Remember, and y'all played a joke on me, but you bailed out too early?
I did. I thought we were going to lose you. So, because I thought you were going to start freaking out on me, and I didn't want you to get stressed out. Too bad.
I was like, David, he's our guest. Stop being mean to him. So
it was fun.
That's also where we had the interview with Dawson from the 25th season Philippines. We had her on. She was 13th out of 18th. I mean, 13 out of 18 was her place, right? And she came on while the show was still on the air. Miss Rebellious. It was episode 5's feedback show.
We didn't really know how wrong that was at the time.
I know.
Do you remember if I reached out to her or you did?
Well, you were always the one. 90% of the time, you were the one that reached out to the players.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, but anyway, that's podcast number 46. If you're interested,
that was our second season, right?
I think
because
so.
One World was first.
Yeah, One World was first. Yeah, it was our 46th episode. So yeah, that's probably second season.
That was probably our first guest.
I don't know if she was or not, because I thought I remember doing a video call with Andrea Belke that we've taken off the internet since then. She was our first video interview, I thought. No? Or was Scoopin? Yeah, Scoopin was our first interview ever.
Well, no, he was at the end of that season of Dawson.
Oh, you're right. So Dawson was our first. Either that or Rob.
You didn't look any of this up, did you?
I looked a lot of things up, but I didn't look that up. Anyway, if you want to hear that, that's episode 46, time code 2730. And I'm not even going to tell you what we were like. Thanks for listening to the show, and then she made our first curse word ever on our podcast.
Broke the ceiling.
Yep. So then I went to the huge closet of Joshua's. It was like a 15 by 15 or whatever. And I was there. I built this desk that I recorded off of. I had all the soundproofing stuff behind me. I was so OCD. So OCD. I mean, I got all it. If you go back and listen, you're going to hear me like promo and Patreon and doing ads for Amazon and trying to do all kinds of things to make us be. Oh, I was so stupid.
Doing all the stuff that pretty much got us out of doing podcasting.
Thank you, David.
No, was that the stuff that you didn't like doing, or was this?
I enjoyed it too much, but it got too much. Like, if you remember, we had a couple people leave our Facebook group because they were like, look, we're tired of this. Just do the show. Stop trying to, get us to support you, and stop trying to get us to buy from Amazon and all this kind of stuff. And they were right. So anyway.
So thanks if you never came back. We just want to thank you.
Yeah. So I was in my oldest son's room, my middle son's room, and now at the new house, I'm in Timothy's old room. And I wanted to make it into like a podcasting room with like the poster that Nathan made for us, for our show, and some other stuff up here. And Connie's not really going for that yet.
Well, that would mean we're video, and we're not video.
No, I just wanted it so the room has a cool look to it.
Ambiance, gotcha.
It'd be like I'd finally have my own space, except for when family comes over and sleeps in here.
Well, maybe one day when you grow up, you'll have your own space.
Yeah, maybe so.
Last night I was talking, Gracie came over and hung out for a while, and we talked about the podcast, and she gave me her thoughts on our first episode, second episode. She agreed that Friends was without a doubt one of the best picks.
How did she hear it? I haven't sent it to you. Oh, did I send you the episodes?
So she came over and we were talking about the podcast, and I kind of told her what we were discussing.
That's because you have never listened to a single episode of our podcast.
I also don't listen to you, but otherwise it's still.
One of the most irritating things in the world, and I mean it. I seriously mean it. This thing that I'm about to talk about makes people so angry. They yell, they scream, they cause accidents on the interstate that damages people's cars and lives forever. And it's all because people drive slowly in the passing lane.
So 10 minutes, huh?
Hey, don't you hate that though? You're driving on the interstate and you're passing and you're cruising along, 2 miles over speed limit. Okay, maybe 15. And you come up behind and they will not move, and you flash your lights or whatever. And well, I know you're not. I mean, technically you're supposed to do that, but I'm not going to do that. Right. And then you have people like when you're in the left lane and you're passing somebody, but someone behind you is going so fast, they come up right on your tail and they're driving like 3 feet from your bumper. So what I used to do, and I found out that you're not supposed to do this, was I would brake check people.
Gosh. And you're still in one piece.
And I'm still alive. But it would irritate me so much. It's get off my tail. So now what I do is I just take my foot off the accelerator. Mm-hmm. So I start slowing down.
Yeah.
And then they realize I'm slowing down and they stop. But I'm not usually the one in the left lane when I should be in the right lane. Yeah, only if I'm going past people. Right?
Yeah.
Or I know that if I get in the right lane, that this guy might be beside me and I won't be able to get back in the left lane before I pass somebody on the right lane. There's so many things to think about when you're driving.
I know. That's why I'm glad Davis isn't listening to this, because he's just starting to drive, and he's one of those that's going to think about 17 different things when he has to change lanes. He's going to deal with all that. See, I'm one of the, that's why, and I've tried to instill this in my children. That's other people that I give a lot of advice to. So let me go back to advice after we talk about this, because it's funny that you brought that up, because it reminded me of what I wanted to talk about. But when I'm trying to tell them about driving, the key to a successful driving trip is to leave early. So that if you get behind something, you're still not in the heavy metal rush, foot on the pedal rush, like some other people I'm married to. They get into situations where they drive like the police can't catch them.
That's right.
Why they get there so quickly. So it takes me 13 hours to get to Dwaine's house. It takes Terry about 9.5.
Oh, my goodness.
So she took her mom to a funeral yesterday, Tuesday, a family funeral. Her mom's sister passed away in Carolina. So they drove down midway through the day and spent the night. And first thing she texts me is, "We got here sooner than we planned." Like, no kidding. I had no doubt. But that's why the only time I really even get in the left lane, because I am great going 60. I'm fine going 62.
In a 70-mile-an-hour zone?
No. We don't have many of those. Those are like deep out on our interstates. We're like 65 now.
Oh.
Or 60. Okay. So I'm good going 65 or 70 if it's a 65. I'm not worried about it unless I get behind a big truck, because I like to see in front of the vehicle in front of me.
Yeah.
And then I'll get around. But when I get around, I'm gassing it because I want to get out of the left lane. I do not like riding in the left lane because, like you said, I've seen too many crazy videos of people in their cars getting out of their cars at a stoplight to throw something at the car behind them because they didn't drive the way they thought they should drive. Right. So I am very much anti-road rage. I do not want to get in those situations.
Yeah, I'm very defensive driver, except for when I was brake checking people. That really is terrible. I can't believe I admitted to doing that. I don't do it anymore.
Good. I'm glad to hear that. Because that worried me when you said you did that. Your car is not big enough to brake check people.
And I didn't even realize it was called brake checking. I just knew that I would tap my brake if someone was right on my tail.
Yeah.
Right. I wasn't like really stopping fast. I would just tap my brakes so they'd see my brake light and they would want to slow down. Yeah. And then I was watching some, dash cam videos on YouTube, which will scare you to death. Yes. And they were talking about this person brake checked somebody, and I went, uh-oh, that's what I'm doing.
I get addicted sometimes watching videos, either on Facebook video stream or on YouTube, but I see these people and the trucker didn't do something for them, so they pull in front of the truck and brake check. Yeah. Oh my gosh, these trucks cannot stop in a short amount of time. I am so respectful. I love my truckers, and I get way away from them, give them all the space they need, and I will sit there on the interstate in a dead stop to let a gap come about so the trucker can pull in front of me. Yeah. I will absolutely let them in, because they have one of the hardest jobs that I do not have the patience to do, is drive them trucks. I don't even like driving that much. I mean, I will. Terry, she'll drive a lot of times, but I'm like, I feel bad for those guys having to drive a vehicle that size. I'm like, yep, I'm going to sit right here until you pull in front of me, because I don't want to pull in front of you, because you probably won't see me at the last minute, and then I'm underneath your truck. So, but yeah.
Sometimes people, I am not this kind of. I gotta stop clicking my pen. Keep doing that.
I heard that last time. I was wondering what that was.
I know. I gotta stop doing that. I remember one time I didn't realize that you weren't supposed to sell CPAP machines on eBay. I didn't realize that. I didn't know they were prescription only.
How did you get it? Did they not write a prescription for you?
I didn't realize it was a prescription thing. They ordered one and I took it home. I didn't know it was a prescription thing. So I'm selling the CPAP machine on eBay. Well, this person bids on it and actually is not in a bid war, but there's other people bidding on it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, this guy wins it. So I'm like, okay. So I email him and I'm like, hey, you haven't paid yet. And he goes, are you a doctor? And I was like, no. He goes, well, then you're not allowed to sell that, and I'm not buying it. And I was like, are you kidding me? You get on eBay. You take time out of your day to get on eBay and buy CPAP machines just so you can teach them a lesson. Now, granted, he taught me a lesson because I sold it on Facebook instead of eBay.
but there's like 3 other people that could have bought it and you'd be done with it.
I know, and I'd be done with it. But anyway, there's some people like that when they drive. So if you're driving right now, don't do this. It's like their job to make sure everyone else drives the speed limit. Mm-hmm. So they get in the left lane and they drive 70 in a 70 to prove a point. It's their job to be teaching other people a lesson and do that.
Interstate chaperones. Oh, goodness.
But seriously, it's a law that some states like Texas, you are only allowed to use the far left lane for passing. It's not a fast lane. A lot of states, it's not called a fast lane, it's a passing lane. And they can actually pull you over for just cruising around in the left lane.
So they can't sing the Eagle song "Life in the Fast Lane" because there is no fast lane.
That's right. Interesting fact. Last thing.
Yeah. So I am always. Let me finish with this. The advice thing I want to talk about. Yeah. I'm always giving my kids advice because my dad always gave me advice. I didn't remember a lot of it, but it was always good advice. One of the main things my dad taught me was listen more than you talk. Yeah. And you'll get more out of life. He's absolutely right. But one big area that I'm teaching my kids, and they already know it now, but it's how to be a good restaurant customer.
Oh man, that is so important. That's a whole nother show.
Is it?
Oh my gosh.
Tell you what.
I mean, we got 3 minutes. You can bring it up.
No, we'll that's our tease for the next episode. Dwayne's
we got other tease for next episode. We're going to talk about this conspiracy against the government.
Well, we got 2. But we'll save it. Next episode, we'll talk about how to be a good restaurant customer because it has worked for me so many times to get free stuff.
Man, I'm a good tipper. I tell you what. The other day, I went into a restaurant. Well, I'm going to write it down so I can tell you what I did. So there you go. Hey, we do have a Facebook group. It is facebook.com/groups/allmeat, ALLMEAT. So if you want to get on that, you can. That's all I got. How about you, David?
I'm good.
All right. See y'all later.